Hi, my name is Marquita Russell, and I go to Huntsville High. In SFJROTC, we have something called CHILL, chill out. It stands for character, honor, integrity, loyalty, and leadership. How do you go about, just like in general, representing that or going by that?
Wow. Why don't you ask a hard question right out of the gate? That's a terrific question. And I love that acronym. I love all of those values. I think that's terrific. For me, when you start talking about the kinds of things like honor and character and integrity, these are not things that you can just turn on and off, right? These are things that are developed over time. One of the things that I think has been most valuable in my journey to get to this point is that I surrounded myself with high quality people. One of the reasons I never ended up getting out of the military is because I just loved the people I was working with. Guys like Damon, and you start to surround yourself with people of character. It raises your character. You start to see examples of integrity, and you say, that's the standard. That's what I'm going to be held to. The word honor is a hard thing to really define, but when you see someone with honor and you see them act in honorable ways, it becomes so much more obvious. And so, my advice is always pay attention to those honorable people of character around you. Pay attention to the people that act with integrity, and the military is filled with them. But recognize it and don't presume that it just happens without an active process. And I think that's what really ultimately pays off, is you pay attention, you learn these lessons along the way, and then you just hold yourself to that same standard. The number of times I've said, what would Damon do? How would he take care of this problem? And that means that I don't just get to decide whatever I want to do. It's a grander stage. We're all a part of this. That I reflect on the U.S. Space Force. I reflect on the Department of Defense. I reflect on our country. Like people look at me and the way I behave and attribute it to everybody. Sometimes that's a heavy burden, but it's what keeps you thinking about character, honor, integrity. So that's what I would focus on. The people around you are going to give you a lot of good examples.
Thank you.
Hello, my name is Nicholas Walls, and I come from Huntsville High School. And I was wondering, would the Space Force ever work with different companies from different countries?
Already do. It's an amazing array of industry partners that actually exist in other countries. I spend a lot of time overseas talking not only to foreign militaries, but talking to the other companies. And what is it they're doing? What are the lessons they're learning? And the companies that we have, that we contract services for, are partnering with some of those foreign companies as well. There's no international boundaries to good ideas. There's no international boundaries to doing things right, especially when it's high tech and we're looking for innovation. So we will take the ideas from wherever they come. And so we actively go out and seek foreign companies to help us.
Good evening, sir. I'm way up here at the top. Captain Mary Albrecht, a current engineer in the Space Force. And I'm actually here with some of my fellow captains in SOS right now. We came out here for tonight.
All right.
We recognize that we are not part of some of the initial training that some of the new lieutenants are going through. So what are the current experiences and skills that we as captains should be focusing on to meet challenges within the next 5 to 10 years?
Yeah, thanks for that. I hear this question a lot. Sometimes it's kind of with angst, like, hey, the new training is going to be different, and I didn't get that when I came through, so am I going to be the same quality? Absolutely. Absolutely you will be. The experiences you're getting are going to be incredibly valuable. Like I said, it's about operational dedication. Understand your craft. If you're flying satellites, be the best satellite flyer there is. Understand how the system works inside and out. Understand the threats that can start to negate your mission. Ask questions of the people around you. One of the things that we're trying to do with the new training course is provide them an early vocabulary. So here's what I mean. A satellite operator who goes through intelligence training should be able to ask an intel officer in terms that they both understand because they've both been trained the same way. You can ask the cyber defender that's defending your network questions about cyber defense in a way that's a little more in-depth because you've got that vocabulary. So while you may have not gotten that training when you were a lieutenant, you can still think about that. You can still, we're going to find ways to give you the additional competencies and skills and say, I've got to go learn from the intelligence people. I've got to go learn from the cyber people, because this is all a part of what's required to be a leader in the Space Force. We're going to catch you up by providing all those opportunities along the way. So don't think like you're falling behind. You're not. It's all about taking advantage of the opportunities that are given to you and being committed to that excellence in the job you're in.
All right, I think we have time for one more question. And you're very quick.